Hello, and welcome to another episode of Film Logic, a movie podcast about the movies of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, with every fandom in between. I am your beloved host, Mike, and I'm with my good buddy Adam. Adam, are you there?
Oh yeah, baby. What's up?
Well, it's another fine day for movies.
Always
And
is.
with that said, I haven't caught up to anything that's current. Though I did see Beetlejuice.
That's
And
pretty current. That's still in
yeah,
theaters.
I got it within the month. So I'm excited. And I'm excited to say that I got back into Umbrella Academy
Mm.
because Netflix is such a loaded deck. You know, I've dabbled in Paramount Plus. I played with Max. You know, I've danced around Peacock, but nothing just feels nearly as good as Netflix. It's the original home of just getting lost in binge addiction.
Yeah, I do think that Netflix at least is more consistently putting out stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, HBO will be like, oh, hey, check out our new, 8-episode miniseries, The Penguin, which would, be a
Yeah.
million times better than almost anything on Netflix, but also it's like the only thing they dropped this season, you know what I mean?
Right. And you do bring up a good point. You know, there was a time when we thought Netflix was getting all this exclusive stuff because it was like a gold mine, but a lot of that stuff doesn't do too well on Rotten Tomatoes. Like only once in a blue moon will you get like a knock out of the park exclusive. I think they do better with their TV shows than with their movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's just kind of like one of those things where they throw money at it. And, for every movie that you get that's kind of like on the fringe of like, something like, I don't know, Outlaw King or All Quiet on the Western Front or Hitman, then you get,
Hmm.
other stuff.
Yeah. Which I have to say that the trend is that making something into a TV series is a lot more substantial and has a better foundation than risking it all in a movie.
Yeah, but Netflix doesn't like. I don't know. It feels like they don't stay married to their series. They feel like they shut them down, bring them back, shut them down.
Right. Buy up six more. I'm still waiting for that Chronicles of Narnia series.
That's coming. There. I mean, there's some news on the horizon. They casted Saoirse Ronan in a role, so yeah, I'm excited for that. That'll be good.
Yeah, we'll
And is
see.
that on Netflix? I thought that was on.
I thought,
I thought that was on Max. I don't know. Maybe it's on something else.
yeah. Well, I know there's this big, the big fight is, Amazon has the rings, Netflix, their Hail Mary pass is the, Chronicles of Narnia. Max has House of the Dragon, Peacock. We don't know what Peacock has. And they have like the Harry Potter movies,
Mhm.
if you're interested in them. Um,
Can confirm it's on Netflix.
Okay, that's good. I want to say that I'm putting money in the right place. And can I
Mm-hmm.
just say that as much as we hate Netflix for being jerks about sharing their password, which is
Mm.
allegedly what forced me to have to get the TV ads version for $7 a month.
Mm.
And I thought I was going to be overrun by ads, but there's like maybe one ad and like one binge that you do, and it's not even a very long ad. It's like 30 seconds. So, my hat's off to them for not going the 2 minutes, Hulu ads route.
Yeah, Hulu is pretty egregious. I don't think I'd ever. Yeah, Hulu's pretty
So
bad.
sick of their mal enhancement meds. Every other
Yeah,
advertisement.
yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Who sent
Um,
you?
yeah, right. I don't personally have Hulu, but I was over at a friend's house and they like threw on Schitt's Creek, and yeah, it was like every 3 minutes we were getting like Capital One ads.
Yeah, yeah. Ask your doctor if Keytruda is right for you. It's like,
Right.
oh my gosh. And
Brutal.
yeah, I I mean Paramount, they don't do long ones, but they
Mm.
do the same one.
Yeah.
and right now it's like an OCD thing. Like every commercial break is that new Tom Hanks movie. Like,
Yeah.
and it's the same one. It's like, we get it. You really want us to see it.
Yeah, and I mean we'll get into it a little
Yeah,
bit later, but it also is like it feels like the first thing he's done in a while. I don't remember the
right.
last thing that he's done. Something maybe
You
like
think he's paying for the advertising for this just to
I mean
really
I don't think
prove he's
he's
back?
I don't know if Tom Hanks is necessarily worried about getting work,
Hmm.
but oh yeah, I guess he was in Asteroid City.
He was in a lot of Apple exclusive stuffs. Like he played like in this, I don't know, cyberpunk or kind of Borderlands-ish type world,
Oh,
and that
what
looked really interesting.
what is that?
Yeah. And then there's that other one where he was like the captain on a World War II ship. So I thought Apple
Oh,
owned him for a
Greyhound.
couple seasons. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. I think the last thing that I remember seeing him in besides Asteroid City, and because he's in it, but he's not like one of the main guys, I guess. But he's also the last thing I remember him being in was Elvis. He's kind of like the guy that initially gives Elvis his break in his narrating.
Ah.
That movie was.
Yes. Yeah,
Anyways.
speaking like just bouncing off of that, I
Mm-hmm.
think they're doing the same thing with Bob Dylan now.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
Yeah,
doing like a career
yeah,
retrospective.
yeah. Young guy that's probably been like in a teenager Netflix show, kind of like how Elvis was from Cobra Kai, um, about how wonderful of a singer, but how hard it is to get into the business around the '60s, and about how Bob Dylan's lyrics so much, they mean so many different things, and yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. The cast is pretty great from what I remember. Timothy Chalamet, I believe, is playing Bob Dylan himself. But
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. Yeah, those kind of like musical bio, movies are either like, super successful and like, people love them, or they're really bad.
yeah. I think I got my fill with the Queen one.
Mm,
It
yeah.
was interesting and I liked it. And Freddie Mercury, who doesn't love hearing about his story? But it's just like, okay, yeah, I get it.
Right, right.
You're amazing at being a musician. Life is hard, drugs are easy, you know, doing crazy stuff. And then you
Mm,
sober up at the last minute and you do a breakout performance that shows that you've learned the error of your ways
right,
ad
right.
nauseum.
Ad nauseum. Yeah, yeah.
But
Probably my favorite's probably like Walk the Line, maybe.
mhm. I thought
The
you were gonna say Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
Oh yeah, no, probably not. The one with Joaquin Phoenix.
No, yes.
Who plays Johnny Cash. But yeah, no, those are yeah, you either get one of those or I don't know, you get Elvis. I mean Elvis is fine, but it is what it is. Rocket Man was also pretty good.
Yeah, they all come together. Oh, that Apple original film where he plays in a robot wasteland is called Finch. I feel like that one just got glossed over. Maybe it's not that good.
Mm. Do you remember what it was called?
Yeah, Finch.
Finch. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've seen that.
Well, anywho, Adam, you saw a movie that just came
Oh,
out this weekend, and you
did
have some strong
I
opinions.
did I ever see a movie this weekend or this past week? Or I saw it last Thursday, so pretty fresh. It's man, I saw Joker 2, and I'm sure by now I think a lot of people have seen the reviews coming in online. Um
Mhm.
have not been very favorable. Yeah, it's a very interesting movie, and I don't want us to get too bogged down in a review on this because I mean everyone's got an opinion out there right now. But my quick 2-minute review is that it just feels like a 5 out of 10 movie with a 10 out of 10 casting crew, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like the actors and like Joaquin and Lady Gaga are absolutely lights out. supporting cast is brilliant. And it's 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 so it's it's it
Yes.
it's almost like somebody took a 45-minute epilogue and stretched it out to 2 hours. That's what it feels like when you watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful 2 hours. The cinematography is brilliant. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I do think the attempt was there to kind of like create a movie that was like trying to deconstruct the first Joker movie,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely deconstruct all those kind of like male white fantasy power savior movies, like Taxi
Mm-hmm.
Driver, or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or Drive, or those kind of movies. And like, if you have this expectation going into the movie Joker 2, thinking that Joker is kind of like get off for all these murders, and then like through his like all his cult of personality, and then like
Mm-hmm.
transcend to like some final Joker form,
Yeah.
and save the incels and the cast-offs once and for all, and terrorize Gotham. You're gonna be really disappointed going to go see this movie, because that's not really the point of the movie. And really, I think the movie was trying to be like, why do we kind of put these characters on a pedestal?
Mm-hmm.
But it's very clumsily done, and then every 20 to 30 minutes there's a musical number that's very
Mm-hmm.
well choreographed and very well performed, but you're like, but Joker was just in a courtroom. Why
Right.
why is he singing the blues? And it makes sense narratively within the story, but I question it's why is it there? And
Yeah.
I definitely think that it's a very ambitious movie, and I think really what they're trying to get at is like, what is like why do we greenlight sequels? Why was the first, and it definitely felt like a meta commentary. There's a bit in Joker, if spoilers, but there's a bit in Joker where his defense attorney is like, hey, like, all you have to do to win this case is just say like, hey, like, this Joker persona is not who you are. It's a separate personality. You aren't in
Mm-hmm.
control. You have this mental disorder. And Joker's like, Fleck is like, hey, no, this is who I am. I'm a champion of the people. These people you know are rallying behind me. And he like fires her, and he kind of takes up his own defense and says
Mm-hmm.
like, no, he kind of takes over this persona of I am the Joker. And then at the end he's like, oh, hey, I don't want to be this guy anymore, and that was wrong of me to do. And he kind of like disappoints all these people that were like supporting him.
Yeah.
And it feels like kind of like a meta narrative of being like, oh, hey, like, you shouldn't be idolizing this movie or these characters or these people that are like this.
Mm-hmm.
And and just how disappointed the rabble were in the movie, I think so too are the rabble outside, upset
Yeah.
about the depiction of Joker. And it's a and I was talking to some of my friends. It feels like this is going to be one of those movies that 20, 30 years from now, people are either going to be like, this is the greatest comic book movie of all time,
Mm-hmm.
or this is an absolute travesty, awful, horrible, terrible movie which should never see the light of day.
Yeah. Well, I think it's better to go uh crazy over boring, because crazy, at least you remember. Boring, it becomes like Venom 2.
Well, and I think that's part of the issue, is that there are crazy bits, but it's also just boring too. Like, there are bits that are just kind of it just doesn't feel like there's enough there. There's like I said, it's like a 45-minute idea that's stretched out into a 2-hour movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the
So,
original Joker got a 68 on the tomato meter. And I actually read like a a parody script of, because I'm part of the editing room, and they kind of made fun of it for being like so slapdash on what their message was. They're like, are you against crazy people? Are you against psychopaths? Are you against society? Or do you just not know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it's it's certainly interesting. And I think Todd Phillips is I think he's just really ambitious with this, and I just don't know. I just don't know if it lands.
Yep.
I just don't. So, I mean, hey, it definitely, I would say, give yourself the benefit of the doubt. I wouldn't go see this in theaters unless you really want to experience it in a theater. I think there's too many good movies out right now, like The Wild Robot and Transformers 1 and Beetlejuice
Hmm.
Beetlejuice, to, like, if you're trying to decide between all of them, I would go with one of those over the Joker 2. So wait for it to come out on Max. Give it a fair shake. Even if it's just for, Joaquin and Lady Gaga. Yeah, it's interesting.
Hmm. Well, there you have it, folks. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of interesting, Adam, we've